Hi there, welcome to my channel. My name is Sandra, and you're watching the Schwowin's Nest. My first project is using Dollar Tree products. I've got this cute little jar and some napkins. I've cut out the napkin. Of course, I have peeled off the bottom layer, and now I'm going to apply it onto the jar using Mod Podge. When you're using Mod Podge, it's a really good idea not to have too much on the jar because that will actually make more bubbles and everything if you have too much. So just a nice thin layer will work the best. Then you're just going to move it around if you need to kind of get it in place and then add some more Mod Podge to the top. I'm going to be covering the whole jar all the way around, but I wanted to have different levels of the napkin, so I didn't want to cut out the exact same piece each time. I changed it up a little bit. So for this piece, I just cut the bottom two pumpkins and the one top one out and left the large one out completely. I think I used two napkins for this. I wanted to add a little bit more of a rustic feel to this jar, so I'm adding 2 rows of nautical rope. What I like to do is glue it around, and when I get back to the beginning, cut my rope so I have a really nice clean joint. I'm going to do the same thing for the top of the jar, except this one is going to get 3 rows. When I get back to the beginning, I always make sure to add a little bit of extra hot glue and really push the rope down onto the jar and also against the other piece of rope. You can see me doing that here, just holding it really tightly. I've got some Dollar Tree Pipberry garland. I just love this stuff, and I use it for everything in my fall crafts. I think it's just absolutely beautiful. I'm just going to glue one section all the way around on the rope. With the leftover piece of this garland, I'm just winding it around a paintbrush so I can make sort of that pumpkin curly Q look. I'm going to do the same with another piece and then just glue it sort of off center from the first one. I added one Sola wood flower and some lamb's ear, and I think it's absolutely beautiful. If you are new to my channel, welcome. I'm so glad you're here. Right now, I'm doing a ton of rustic farmhouse fall DIYs. So if you want to see more, make sure you hit that subscribe button. It's absolutely free and it really supports my channel and helps me grow. My second project is using some scrapbook paper from Michaels and these wood squares that you can pick up at the Dollar Tree. These are the square ones. They also have rectangular ones and they come in a pack of 6 for $1.25 here in Canada. What I'm going to do is figure out which way I want the grain to go, and then I'm going to glue all of those 4 squares onto the back side of the paper. I'm just using a glue stick and I'm just going to press the squares down. And once they've had a chance to dry for a few minutes, I'm going to cut them out and just clean up the edges using my craft knife. Next, I'm going to use a little piece of nautical rope that is sized to what I want to make a tiny little wreath. So I'm just going to glue those 2 edges together and then I'll start applying my little wood acorns. I painted the acorns ahead of time just using some of my honey brown, some green paint, and a little bit of dark brown stain. I picked up these little wood die cuts at Dollarama. They came in a box with all sorts of fall ideas, but I'm just going to be using the acorns for this one. I've got 3 larger acorns and then I've got some smaller acorns with the leaves attached. And then I'm also going to add some additional oak leaves. To 3 of these little wooden pieces, I'm going to stencil on the word home, so the H, the M, and the E, and my little acorn wreath is going to become the O. I'm just using some black paint and a makeup sponge, and this is a 3-inch tall script stencil, and I think I have it listed down in my description box. It's one of my favorite stencils to use because they're all capital. They're not too fancy, but they are fancy enough. I'm going to use hot glue to glue the little wreath right on top of the little wood plank. And because I've got the wreath made with a little bit of nautical rope, it's going to stick out a little bit and make it look more 3D. I'm going to use some of these long bamboo sticks to glue all of four of these pieces together. I want them to look a little bit like pallets, so I'm going to leave a space in between. Once I had this part all complete, I added a couple of tumbling tower blocks to the back of the sign so it could easily stand up on its own. I think this turned out super cute. It's rustic, it's elegant, it's absolutely adorable, and will make a great shelf sitter. This last project is using this wreath form that I picked up at a local dollar store. I love it because it's grapevine, but it's kind of whitewashed and it goes perfect with Sola wood flowers. I bought some new packs just recently and I'm so excited to start using them. I got some beautiful colors this time around, a beautiful muted blue, a charcoal, some lighter grays, and I am absolutely falling in love with these colors. So because these are such pretty flowers, I don't want to use any hot glue to attach them to this wreath. So I'm using some bamboo skewers that I've cut into shorter pieces. I do cut them at an angle on each end, and then I'll be able to just easily push these right into the wreath, skipping the hot glue. And then at some point, if I want to take these apart and make something new with these flowers, I'll be able to do that. I love all of the sort of half wreaths that you see where there's some of the wreath form sticking out. And I thought this would be a perfect opportunity to do that. So I'm going to be putting the majority of the flowers along the one side. I'll start with some of the larger ones and then fill in with some smaller mini ones. And then I'm going to add a few little white pumpkins to give this more of a fall feel. When I'm pushing the skewer in, I'm pushing it in on an angle as you see me doing here because I want the flowers to lay nice and flat. If I put the skewer in up and down, then the flowers are going to be a little wonky and it'll be hard for them to stay in. I'm adding some of these flowers that are called skin flowers, which means they have a little bit more of the wood showing. And I am going to be using a little bit of hot glue just to glue in the bamboo skewer where I can't get it wedged into the grapevine wreath sturdy enough. Now I'm going to be adding some of the white flowers. These are some little minis and they're the magnolia style. It's just going to bring everything together because in a minute I'm going to show you my little white pumpkins that I'm going to add as well. Here are the little pumpkins I'm going to add. They're kind of an off-white, not a pure white, but I'm also putting them on the bamboo skewers because I love these and I love using them over and over in my decor for fall. And I got them last year, I believe, at Michael's. And I also picked up some really beautiful sage green that are the same size. And I think this is just going to add that perfect fall touch. I'm going to take more of those pipberry stems. Those I get from Dollarama, but I have seen these at Dollar Tree as well in multiple different colors for every season. I'm going to just twist them around on a paint brush just to give them that curly Q look and then add a whole bunch of them into the wreath. I want to have some that stick out so you can really see them and some that are intertwined within the flowers. For a finishing touch, I'm using some of this boxwood greenery that sort of has a lamb's ear look. It's sort of that frosted soft color. Anyway, that's a beautiful color to use with Sola wood flowers. It just blends in so perfectly. So I'm just going to kind of stick a few stems here and there to bring out a little pop of green. I love all of these on-trend colors, and I'm going to keep this one and put it on my front door for the fall season. I really had a lot of fun creating these dollar store DIYs. I hope they inspired you to create some of your own home decor for the fall season this year. If you like what you saw, please give me a thumbs up. That tells YouTube you like what you saw and they promote me more, which helps my channel grow. If you're new, I'd love for you to stick around by hitting that subscribe button. The black arrow will point you in the right direction. Here's a couple more videos that you might be interested in. Thanks for watching. See you in the next one.